Yeah, it's a little bit twisted, but unfortunately and tragically for energy supply, it's true. Because I think that's what this is more about for anybody, certainly for me, is that nobody likes to see a good man put down like that. I certainly don't, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be disruptive at all, but I'm certainly not going to shy away from saying my piece when it's needed to be said. Not anymore, anyway. I think it's unhealthy and it's not done anything any good. Considering I was considered a very close friend to energy supply, as Mike will vouch.
Does he ever take his red dot off, or is he too scared?
Yeah, he does when he's awake or whatever, doing stuff. I'm going to tell you something. I've talked, like I've told Rick, I told you earlier, Rock, I've talked to him for hours and hours. And if he was to tell you everything to me, it would floor you guys. I mean, yous would be floored of the stuff that he's told me. I mean, it's unreal. That's why I've almost done everything but get on one knee and beg him to stop. That's the honest to God's truth. I mean, I have. I've said, man, just stop. Nope. That's what I said. You know, they could rule the world if they knew how to do it. And there's very few that know how to do that in life, and that's one of them. And to me, I tell you what, it's pure evil. That's what it is. That is pure evil. When you know, I've heard new healing room, huh? I've heard and done things that people would consider evil, but not like that. That's pure evil. I mean, he's told me things that would floor you guys. I wished he would tell you. I should have probably recorded it so I'd have. But you know, that was a private thing that he told me, but you know, like I said, I shouldn't probably be sharing that, but it's bad. I mean, if you'd hear everything. And how it happened, I don't know. I have no clue. I mean, Tim's talked to him about it too, and it just, you ask Tim about it, it upsets him too.
Yeah. It does feel like I'm doing the right thing, because I backed off. I took a back seat for months, Mike. And it just felt wrong not to say anything anymore. But out of respect for energy, I didn't say shit. I just said, look, mate, I'm here to support you if you ever need me. And I left it at that. And he went off on his jollies, and next thing I know, he's apologising to Terrell over the air, crying his eyes out. And it honestly upset me, Mike, to see that man doing that. I mean, he had nothing to apologise to Terrell for. Terrell opens himself up to all this criticism, and I'm sorry, if you're on an open forum, then you accept that. So as far as I was concerned, that was where I left it. I thought, well, there's nothing else I can do. And on the occasions that I saw him, I would say hello. I'd just privately say hello for a PM. But I'd never really talk. But I knew he was struggling, man. I mean, that's who I am. I'm an intuitive person. You know, I live by my gut, and I knew he was struggling. And I could see what Passion was doing. I mean, I thought she was with Energy at one point in one room there, and she was flirting with 4 or 5 guys, one being Ohio Steve, the other being Timothy Paul. I mean, openly flirting. And, yeah, that was it for me. And so I just sat on my hands. What else could I do? Because I don't, you know, I've learned the big lessons in life, and one of the big lessons is you don't interfere with other people's relationships. But, you know, when they make it public like this, and she comes out with all this bullshit that obviously she's coming out with, hypocritical bullshit, I think it's time for people who can say something to stand up and say something. And I'm one of those people.
No, but it's hard because of the emotional activity. But we step aside from that and listen to Passion's story. The other evening, I listened. Again, I did not type or text or talk in that room, but I was doing some paperwork and listening to Passion and Boob. And she was coming on, of course, to Boob, which was a little odd because, anyway. But aside from that, I set my emotional activity there, listening to what she was doing. But she told her story. You know, she was raised in British India, or however she puts it, then moved to London, met a guy on leave for 4 or 5 days, quickly got married, and then he was never there. One of those typical areas where he was in the military, could avoid being intimate. She had 3 children. He came and she blamed all the children's problems on him. Then he divorced her just a couple of years ago. She's in a lot of pain. It doesn't make it right that she's preying on others to eliminate her own pain, but if we understand where she's coming from her own words, then we can have some compassion there. Again, it does not negate what she's doing. However, that compassion can let us learn and see aspects in our own life where we may be doing the same things.
Oh, come on, Mo. Callous up a little bit here. Man up, all right? Don't get mad, but that's pathetic. Okay, here's the deal. Her husband divorced her, yeah, and the reason she's doing what she's doing is because after the divorce, I think it was $4,500 a month he had to pay her for so long, okay? Alimony. That has quit. That's why she's after this money thing. They quit just a month ago, I think, or 2 months ago. I forget what it was, but yeah, the alimony checks have stopped. So that's right. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. I've heard the whole thing, man. I'm telling you, I've sat behind this thing for hours and listened and talked to a man that I consider a pretty good friend and tried to convince him to stop. That was the first thing that crossed my mind. The very first time I talked to him about this, I said, listen, man, stop. That is, well, let's put it this way. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing, okay? That's what I called it. I said, she's after one thing, man, and that's it. Well, I'll tell you what, Compass. I was told this. In the morning time, get up without the mask on. It's horrible. Horrible. Okay? I don't know. Go ahead, bye. Open mic.
Dr. Dodger, can you come to the ER room, please? Mr. Boy would like some hand.
Sorry, I didn't realize my hand was up. Anyway, Mike, I'm not saying that what she's doing is right in any form or fashion. I'm just saying if we look at why she's doing it, then we can understand and learn the lessons. Maybe energy can see that. Others can see that before they get into relationships. My culture is living in the United States mission. Look at photo shoots. I was 44, had gray hair, and was considered an ideal model because I looked 30 in the face. It's been kinder to me. You know, some people age differently. Yeah, with the gray hair, I could do 55 shoots or older for the older men simply because of the color of the hair. We allow men in this culture to be seen as marketable to a much later age. Women, unfortunately, after 30, 35, they're aged out. She's 51. That's in itself a pretty hard thing for a woman to accept. I mean, even maybe Love can verify the reactions to people that people have toward women as they age. It's an unkind culture. Now, that does not give anyone the right to lash out just because we can understand those norms are there and over time try to change them.
Oh, hell yeah. Lady gets all the guys. I aggravate her about that shit all the time. Yeah. You know, they look at my age and I'm like too friggin' old.
Why are they playing cutthroat with her, though? That's what I can't figure out. It seems like they're all coming against her and wanting to just gang up on her. What's going on?
No, it's the room that, you know, there's been, well, this is my perspective. And even though this room is owned by different owners, it's just been a short convergence here. And so I think they still see this as a following of Lady, which sort of it kind of is, you know, but it's really the other side of the house. All of the independent thinkers, the ones that don't want to be told what to believe, maybe have alternative spirituality beliefs. But I think what it is just that, you know, obviously we're all a bunch of Satanists. And we're devil worshippers, and we're bad people. We're just bad seeds. We're over here, you know, killing chickens and shit, I guess. That's what I get out of it. But I could be wrong. Mike out.
Well, I'm going to go and grab a coffee. Coffee, anyone? Tea?
Yeah, it's not true. I think there's more searching and very good conversation in this room than there is over there, frankly. We explore lots of different aspects, and spirituality is certainly one of them. That's what Lady's been reading. You know, if you really listen, what's over there is the Bible, the thumpers. They're all about their way or the highway, their way or burn, baby. You know, that's all. It's not Lady is evil. I don't know. I mean, that might be their perspective, if that's what you're saying now. But, you know, yeah, we just, I know for myself, and I've talked with Lady a lot about this, we just kind of like to allow people to be who they are without shoving some sort of doctrine down their throat and expecting them to believe it. You know, kind of open about that stuff. Mike out.
Well, I found I had to go last night, so I didn't get to listen. Terrell came in here with what he said was his new cableman. I missed the whole thing, which I thought that was an interesting twist. Yet, one of the aspects that I find really interesting when you listen to Terrell, and he fluctuates a little bit on, sometimes he's the judge and worthy, but sometimes he goes into the, we're all born in sin, blah, 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 nobody's worthy, unworthy, and yet in the other room, it's obvious by the blockings and the dottings, etc., who's banned from there, that their judge, they decide who is just totally unworthy to even hear the message, if there is a message. The whole worthy, which by being unworthy would be throwing shame out there, means there's something inherently wrong with you if you're unworthy. And I find that whole concept of throwing shame at people so that they feel like they're inherently wrong. I mean, my Lord, if God is the creator and he made you, he must have made you perfect. I mean, why would he make something defective? I don't get any of that, but I see it happening.
Well, you know, a lot of yous in here know that I go to church and everything, and I got my beliefs. Okay, but I don't try to push it down anybody's throat, and I don't tell everybody that